I'm getting flashbacks to when I used to work at Disney World. The amount of discipline and just sheer will, it's very similar to this. I think what's happening today is I'm just going to take as many breaks as possible so I don't want to off myself in the last 6 kilometers again. I'm getting into the swing of things again. It's like, I don't know, it's like the first 20 minutes of today was like, God, why am I fucking doing this to myself? But once I had a coffee and a little pastry, it was like a brioche croissant, it was very tasty. I'm feeling a little bit better. But today's walk is way more beautiful than yesterday's. I really should have followed the guide online that said to follow the littoral beach coastline way instead of the actual coastal right way, which is so funny. It's like the coastal way is not actually along the coast. It's like through villages and farms, and you go through the airport. I mean, lesson learned. But to anyone that's watching these videos, take the advice of the internet and take the littoral for at least the first couple 2 stages. But it's a really nice day. I think this is a perfect time of year to do the Camino, at least in Portugal, because it's a little chilly, so you're never hot. You don't really sweat that much because there's always a nice sea breeze. But yeah, like if I just keep walking, my feet don't hurt as much, and I just took a couple Advil. So I don't understand how all these people do this and how they're not just complaining the whole time, but maybe I'm just not getting the hot gas, getting the actual tea. But we'll see how these next couple of weeks go, and maybe the suffering for other people will come later on rather than in the very beginning, like for me. I guess I have a lot more to say today about just religion in general. I can really see how this Camino could make you find God, because it really feels like you're literally like shedding and atoning for your sins. Maybe I'm going down the suffering route too much, but it genuinely feels like that. I like this route because you don't have to think too hard. You just walk along the boardwalk. And you just go. And the last like 45 minutes has gone by so quickly because I just turn off my brain, walk. It's kind of meditative. I think the biggest thing that I'm tackling today is a bit of competitive nature. I see other pilgrims pass me, and I'm just getting over it. It doesn't matter. This is my Camino, that's their Camino. If they want to power walk it and get to the Labruge at like noon, go for it. I don't know why I keep comparing myself to others. It's probably a common theme in the rest of my life as well. This bench is really nice. It's a nice little park. So I'm just gonna sit here. It's about 10:30. Maybe I'll stop for another coffee. That sounds good. By the way, we are in Vila do Conde, and then the destination today is Agusadora, something like that. I'm butchering all these Portuguese city names. I'm sorry. But that's the plan. But we're about halfway. We have about 2 hours of walking left. My back hurts today. We're taking Advil, we're resting. Try not to think about how long this 2 hours is gonna be, but we're gonna finish the Pride and Prejudice movie, so that'll kill about an hour, hour and a half. And then the last 3 kilometers will probably just be suffering again. Oh, maybe that's the theme of this trip. Suffering. Woohoo! Okay, a bit of a change of plans. We're stopping in Póvoa and sleeping at a hotel. Because I really just want to watch TV and go to sleep. And maybe get room service. Is it cheating? Maybe. But that doesn't mean I can't stay at Labruge on future days. I'm really looking forward to the hotel, and it's only a 20-minute walk from here. I'm in Póvoa now. Just had another coffee. I think I've had 3 coffees today. Should probably chill on the coffee. But it's like almost like 1 o'clock. Can't check into the hotel until 3. So now we're just chilling on the beach, and like the beach is completely empty except for like a couple people. It's a nice beach. I'm very tired. So I'm hoping I can just get Uber Eats or something to the hotel later for dinner and then go to bed. I'm glad I stopped, because every single time I sit down I just cannot walk anymore. Still sitting on the beach waiting for my check-in time to the hotel. I think I might just continue doing hotels, or at least like cheaper hotels throughout the rest of the trip, because when you're at Labruge you have to leave like really early. And so I walked here and I got here at like noon, right? Check-in at even Labruge is not until 3. So you either have to walk extremely slowly, or once you get to our next destination, you just have to like chill and get lunch or whatever and sit around. So there's like a benefit to staying at hotels, because you can check out later and start walking later in the morning. It's still early in the year, so like it's not that hot out, so you can wait until like mid-morning to start walking, and you're gonna be fine. Like, you're not gonna be sweating still. So I think that's gonna be nice, because I'll leave, I don't know, around 9 or 10 tomorrow from the hotel, and then I'll get to my next destination like 4 or 5 hours, and that'll be around the time that I can check in to my next place. So let's see how it goes tomorrow. I've got 2 weeks left to figure this out and find a rhythm. But yeah, things I learned today: 1 coffee max per day. 3 is too much. And I probably can't do more than 23 kilometers in a day, because once I get to that 20-kilometer mark, it's just miserable. Those last few kilometers are just miserable. So, learning a lot about myself and my limits, and I'm letting go of comparing my trip to others, comparing it to the online guides, comparing it to the books. And, you know, worst case, I take a bus to Santiago to catch up on, you know, however long it takes me to get there, and still be there in time for my flight. But I don't think it'll come to that, because I did allocate a lot of rest days. But I'm just tired. It really wears you down, this trip, this Camino, the walking. This couple that I ate dinner with yesterday said something that's actually I need to keep in mind, but it was actually really comforting. They were like in their 60s, and they basically said that for like the rest of their life, every 4 to 5 years, they have like this urge to reinvent themselves. So I actually found that kind of comforting, the fact that you never really figure it out. And it sort of like reduces the daunting task of needing to find clarity for the next 20, 30 years on this trip. Maybe I can just find clarity for the next 6 months. Maybe that'll be enough. Or the next year. Because I'm going to be a completely different person in a year or two anyways, so it's really hard to predict what I'm going to want to do when I'm that person, because I don't even know who that person is. So just a comforting thought. I have this saying written on my mirror at home: embrace impermanence. And I think I'm really absorbing the meaning of that on this trip. I'm checked into the hotel. Nothing to say. Glad I did this. Glad I stopped, because I think it's not so good to like wear yourself out so early. So even though I'm going a little bit slower than I expected, it's best to just take a chill, recover, start again tomorrow.